What is up, bros? With Josh here, and today's video is a keeping you up to date video where we go over all the posts that we had in the dev blog today, and there's lots going on, so let's do some quick TLDRs on what it all means. Now, in yesterday's video, literally yesterday's video, I showed you some New Mexico bottom tier gameplay where we got 7 kills, and I talked about new game modes that I wish would come to the game. Now, the day after, now I'm not saying I had anything to do with this, but I just found it very, very funny that the next day they announced some new stuff that's coming to the game. There are 4 new game battle modes. Now, this is going to be part of the space ships. If you guys played that last year, basically what it was a reskinned map of the hotspot. You could play X amount of ships, and with those ships, you could then go and play, and they're kind of just extended. There's a space port, if you've ever used that. There's some space camos on certain ships, so they are bringing that back. So it's really cool. Had a lot of fun. Last year's was basically just standard battle, and they reskinned ships. You didn't have to have, I think, a tier 10 ship to play it. You could have just gotten one to play them. So it was a lot of fun for a lot of people, and it was its own kind of game mode. This looks like it's going to be completely different because they're adding in 4 new game modes, which I am super, super, super excited for, because what these things kind of are testing grounds to see which is popular, which isn't, which works, which doesn't, which can fill a queue, which can't. So this is the perfect way. Like, we've seen ranked sprint be kind of a test that ended up becoming popular. We could see that in the future. The shrinking circle from the Halloween stuff, we could potentially see that as a game mechanic. But here we have, and we actually kind of are, here we have 4 new game modes that are potentially coming to World of Warships. Now, they are just going to be quote-unquote tested or part of the space warships here, but we could potentially see that in the future, so you have to be kind of optimistic about that. Some of them are kind of what the normal game modes are, but a little twist. But Space Assault, like, there's 4 of them here. Space Assault, this mode features different objectives for 2 teams of 9 players, so teams are going to be a tad smaller. Attackers should destroy the defender's base after taking down the force field generators. Destruction of the generators adds more time for fulfilling the attacker's main goal. Defending ships are constantly regenerating their HP, and it is improved for each generator or defending ship lost. Attacking ships respawn at their base after being destroyed. So this is going to be a PvP mode. That's pretty cool. I've always wanted something kind of like this where there's other objectives to do, and gives you kind of this PvP feeling, but also having to do other things at the same time. I'm really excited about this one. This could potentially be really popular because it's kind of PvP with PvE in it, and it looks like it might not be too serious. Throughout all of this, I assume there's going to be division queues. It doesn't say. It may just be solo, I don't know, but I assume up to 3-man divs will probably be available. That's usually what it has been in the past. Saturn's rings, this is a tweaked epicenter. The capturing process of inner caps doesn't block outer caps like it does in epicenter, so this will promote going into the middle because the middle caps will capture faster. So it's going to promote you actually getting close and supporting those. This should be kind of fun, although it basically is epicenter, but epicenter with a kind of cranked up pressure for getting into the middle of the map. So that's awesome. If your DDs don't want to get in, or you aren't supporting your DDs, it's basically a GG then. So kind of cool, although it is kind of epicenter, so nothing too crazy here, but they are testing obviously some tweaks to make epicenter a more viable and more fun, aggressive game mode, which I'm always okay with. Binary Star, each team is located at the enemy spawn that has a tremendous size. This one is kind of confusing to me. The zones gradually become smaller until the limit is reached, so teams constantly have to attack not to lose their bases. So to me, each team is located at the enemy spawn, so spawns are just switched. I'm not sure, but it seems like you have to continuously push forward in a way. So using your battleships to tank damage, using other things, stuff like that. This seems like it might be, so kind of locking in the best strat to rotating off damage, tanking damage, laying smoke screens, stuff like that. This could be kind of fun, more strategic. But it seems like it is a kind of time pressure game mode that you're going to need to push in and then continue to like either tank damage, trade off damage, kill ships outright, and then go from there. But you are going to constantly, it looks like it, the zone gradually becomes smaller until the time limit is reached, so teams constantly have to attack not to lose their bases. So it seems like you have to keep pushing forward and keep being aggressive on a timely manner, or else you're going to basically lose the game. So that seems kind of cool. That's one I'm going to have to see a tad more. That's the most confusing out of all of them. Now, this one is a lot of fun. A lot of streamers, including myself, we even did it at some of the events as well, have done something like this. It's called Jousting, but this is pretty cool. Torpedo beat. This mode is based on Saturn's rings. Only destroyers are allowed, and there are 5 ships per team. So instantly, it's probably going to be a pretty dang small map, but it's only DDs, so that's always a lot of fun. The main weapon for the modes are torpedoes, as the main guns are under the AI control like secondaries. That seems cool. Having an AI control, it just seems like the guns might be a tad RNG, because depending on what tier this is based on, you could have certain destroyers smack you with nothing, and yours could miss always. So I'm not sure if I quite like that. I would rather them just lock the main guns and have it be torpedo only, because at any tier A, or the guns could actually do a lot of damage. So we'll see kind of how that is. But this seems like a lot of fun to go and just goof off with your friends, play some DDs, and basically doing like a jousting match. All ships have their maneuverability improved, acceleration, deceleration, time lowered, and players who destroy an enemy. And all of the players who destroys an enemy, and all the players that loses an ally gets one of the repair party consumables. So that is kind of cool. These 4 battles have fought space maps, Rises, and obviously they are just tweaks, space versions of these. But this is fun. This is something that is going to be really, really cool. I like that, one, they make this whole event to not only just play a kind of a space themed one. It's been popular in the past, but this does test a lot of stuff for game modes going forward, and that's the thing I love about this kind of stuff, is wargaming scene, if this works, if it's viable, if it gets popular, stuff like that. So if things are continuing to have good queues later into this event, that's fantastic. So also there will be new camos coming in the arsenal. So there'll be commanders, theme commanders, camouflages, stuff like that, and all kinds of stuff you can get through this. So they're adding some extra camos as well. Hindenburg, they're going to do the same ones as last time. So a bunch of tier 10s were up there. Also Hindenburg and Shimikaze are getting added for the 2 new camos. So for tier 10, I will 100% get in Hindenburg. I love that ship. And also the directives for each event, you can get permanent space camos for the American and French tier 6 to tier 9. So I'm going to try to get in all those as well. So this is really, really, really cool. Battle modes, ships, maps dedicated to the April the 1st will be available for testing. So we're looking at probably 8.3, somewhere around there. Hopefully it's on April Fool's joke. Also, some upgrades to some cosmetics that are coming to the game, also available in the arsenal, which is going to be coming the armory. As you know, completing ranked, you get a copper, and completing clan battles, 30 wins in Typhoon, you get a moldy Benadryl. So with those, if you get 3 of each, you can buy cosmetics for some steel ships. Moldy Benadryl, you can buy them for the Stalingrad right now. I think that's the only one currently. And with copper, you can buy them for the USS Black or the USS Flint. So they are starting to rotate some stuff in. They only show the USS Flint, but it's getting changed from kind of the red color to the blue color. Okay, sure. These camos are ridiculous on their bonuses. Even in today's standards of camos, these are still pretty sick, and it's a permanent camo. So if you are playing enough ranked and you want to pick it up, you definitely can. I think they usually cost, I think, 3 of each of the currency. That's the only one they show, though, so I assume there'll be a Flint one coming. I assume there'll be a Stalingrad coming, and maybe keep your eyes out for Borgonia. We're not sure. I assume all the steel ships will eventually have cosmetics and permanent camos in the future, so that might be kind of cool. Obviously, they're not going to put one up for at least another clan battle season because, well, they have the Stalingrad, but there hasn't been a 6th season yet, so may take a while. But for the steel ships for the USS Flint and the USS Black, you could see more and more of these coming up, so they're kind of cool, to be expected. And then they have another camo for their live stream giveaways. They're pretty mediocre, I guess. I guess it is 20 credits, but they're adding a new camo like that. Also some notable port interface changes, hopefully some UI upgrades, as well as some extra stuff. So this is always good, but I just want to kind of comment on the arsenal, adding more and more cosmetics, which is something I think they need to stay up to date, which they actually are, which is good. And last but not least is the new announcement of the battleship Georgia. Now, there is a couple red flags here. We'll dive into the ship, and I'll kind of give my thoughts on this. Obviously, I haven't played the ship, so I'll give some, maybe what I think the ship should play like, but overall, I'll give my end thoughts on this and how I think the ship should go. But we have, obviously, there's several improvements for the CV classes. We're going to continue to see hot fixes, probably weekly hot fixes, bi-weekly hot fixes. We just had ones on the Midway. It's torpedo bombs, so a lot of tweaks here and there for these hot fixes, so expect more and more of those as time goes on, which is honestly good in my opinion. But the announcement of the Georgia, a tier 9 battleship. This makes for the third, well, technically the Borgonia, if you count that, the fourth tier 9 premium battleship in this game, right? Missouri, Musashi, Borgonia. No, Borgonia's 10. The Jean Bart, and this will be the fourth, yeah. But the Georgia, a tier 9 USN premium battleship. First, I go, why? Why do we need another tier 9 premium battleship? And then eventually my brain goes to, is it going to be steel, free XP, coal, or what? But anyways, hit points, 74,000, very competitive. But the main battery, 3x2, 457. So big shells. But there's only 6 of them. We see another setup like this on the Gneisenau. Gneisenau known for having big shells but inaccurate, although Gneisenau is a tier 7. We have 43% fire chance, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's some decent stats here, but I'm seeing, the main things I'm looking at is 1, tier 9, Y, 2, 3x2, so it's only shooting out 6 shells, and a reload of 30 seconds. So in my head, I'm expecting to see something extremely accurate. We have a Sigma of 2.0. We don't have a full dispersion, I don't think, here. But still, why? Why are we adding a 6-gun tier 9 battleship? This thing is going to have to shoot lasers. And anything that shoots lasers with that caliber shell tends to have a tough time balancing. If you look at things that have big shells for their tiers, I know obviously there's the Yamato with the legendary module that has its own thing that basically shoots lasers, but it seems like a tough thing to balance. That's one thing we see with the Mutsu at tier 6, we see with the Gneisenau at tier 7, we see with the West Virginia at tier 6, these big calibers, but they tend to be really inaccurate. So I'm interested shooting 6 shells, and that includes the back turret, so only 4 if you're bow in. Something that only shoots 4 every 30 seconds. These things have to be pinpoint. So I haven't played it yet. We're gonna need to play it a tad more. Seems like AA will be pretty solid as well. So I'm gonna kind of hold off on really on a lot of these details because they just aren't finalized. We haven't even gotten our hands on them. So there's nothing really to kind of mention on this. But the stats are all here. I will leave them in a link down below. You can check them out. It does have damage control, repair party, and spotting. We don't know if it has a special, if it has the Missouri heal or the Tech Tree Line heal. As you know, the Tech Tree Line got boosted as well as some Monarch Citadel changes here. But my main thing is, why the Georgia at tier 9? It kind of confuses me. I felt like tier 9 was kind of fine for battleships. I feel like there's a decent mix of play styles. I would have loved to see maybe something like this at tier 7, USN tier 7 battleship, a premium battleship. Let it be a 6, because that works a tad more at that tier. With a 6 shell battleship with a 30-second reload at tier 9, I mean, it better just, we're gonna need to see something be out of this world with this accuracy for the ship to be anything that's worth it. One, why would you bring it instead of the Missouri? Missouri has radar. Musashi has bigger shells. I mean, why? Why? I would love to see this be a tier 7. I feel like it would maybe have a good counterpart. Maybe, have big shells, maybe not 457s, but have some big shells at tier 7 and just make it a smaller ship. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But that's what it is. So just kind of wanted to keep you guys up to date. There's lots going on in this game, so I try to make these TLDR videos. They end up being way longer than I want them to, but just a quick little rundown at the end. Space battles are coming back, 4 new game modes. I'm very, very excited, and we're going to get more maps and more ships to play with. Arsenal getting some updates on cosmetics, as well as a new premium ship, a tier 9. So, and we don't know if it's going to be steel, free XP, or coal. Obviously going to be one of those. They easily could sell it to, who knows. But just want to keep you guys up to date with World of Warships. Lots going on the Facebook dev blog, so I will try to make these videos and keep you guys up to date with all the changes that's hit us and are coming our way. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.